listen, nerds. I know your mom lied to you when you were a kid, told you were super smart, super cool, and that you had all this potential, but your nerd fathers here are here to tell you that was all a lie. Hey guys, Drew Philip Elias here, Aldo Mendez. This is Between Nerds Podcast, here for episode 129, discussing the Witch from Mercury today.
The Witch from Mercury, man.
Mobile Suit Gundam.
Feelings February, definitely a lot of mixed feelings. Definitely a lot of feelings in this anime.
Jesus.
That we watched. Studio, remind me?
Sunrise.
Studio Sunrise. Don't get me wrong, man. The animation threw me for a loop.
It's fine. Because
no, hold on. Let me tell you. Because at first,
you're gonna learn me something. What are we learning?
At first, didn't it look like I'm sorry. Didn't it look to you like a DC animation?
No.
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 It kind of reminded me of Invincible.
Okay.
But with a little more anime style, obviously.
I didn't. It never crossed my mind.
Really?
Nope.
Yeah. But the Gundam fights, the robot fights, are really good.
I didn't like them. I think even in later episodes when they're all zipping and zooming through space, they do like a bunch of cheap shots where they'll zoom out so much that you just see little flashes of light in the background. Or even when the Gundams are about to fight each other with giant lightsabers, essentially, they'll cut away the slicing
from the actual like impact of the swords.
Yeah. So like it'll animate the sword coming out, but it won't animate like the action of the swinging, but then it cuts to like the swords colliding.
Yeah, and it's a little bit like far away.
Yeah.
I get you. Okay, that's a valid point.
There's a lot of like budget cuts that you see in the animation, but I'm not trying to be too critical. This was a user recommended work. He recommended us two Gundams. Well,
yes.
He did say the Witch from Mercury.
Oh, he did. Oh, okay.
He specifically said the Witch from Mercury.
You know what? And you were asking me before off mic. Is like, is this Gundam?
Are they all like this?
Yeah. From what I remember, no.
No.
Because don't get me wrong, I never saw Gundam in a row.
Right.
I never saw it continuously because I would just watch one episode here and there, in Mexican television.
It was hard watching TV in the 90s. You know what I mean? Like we didn't even have DVR back then.
If you didn't have the exact time and the exact channel, like that you knew the Dragon Ball was gonna come out, you didn't watch Dragon Ball.
Yeah, it felt almost random. You know what I mean? He recommended both Mobile Suit Gundam, The Witch from Mercury, and the 1989 version of Mobile Suit Gundam 0080 War in the Pocket.
Yeah, that might be one of the earliest ones. Honestly, I don't know much about Gundam to tell you the titles that it came in.
Dude, I don't. I literally don't. This is the only Gundam work I've seen beginning to end.
Yeah, me too, definitely. I've seen episodes here and there, like I said, but not in any particular order. And I remember the fights. They looked as cool as they looked here, because I know you have some, frame direction, kind of like why didn't they just spend more time animating this instead of probably 80% of the plot?
What blows my mind, I feel like I was gaslit by anime nerds for a second, and maybe that's why I started the episode like that, because there's no way this has this many 5-star ratings on Crunchyroll, right? Thousands of 5-star ratings on Crunchyroll. What I watched this week was the most mid thing I've seen, for sure so far this year.
Hey, as new age of anime that we're getting now, it's also a new age of viewers. You know what I'm saying? And I can see this being palpable for a lot of younger crowd.
I know it's the only Gundam work, animated work that's come out in a decade or something like that. Maybe just the names carrying it all the way. It's about girl-on-girl love, somewhat, kind of, sometimes, when it feels like it, which is why we talked about it for Feelings February. This is technically our second episode of Feelings February. We shoved it into the feelings because we were told to by this user, and I kind of regret it. I might have fucked up Feelings February.
Look. A suggestion is a suggestion, and that's why we're both here, and that's why we promise to the nerds, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna give us this, and they've obviously seen the videos that we put up for them to be like, hey, watch this.
Mr. Raz thought we would enjoy this.
You know, yeah, exactly.
He was really looking out for us, and I'm sorry I let you down, bro. I'm sorry.
Or maybe he didn't think that we were gonna enjoy it, but maybe he will enjoy the conversation we will have about it.
My issue with The Witch from Mercury is it tries doing way too much for an entire season that ends up being an entire epilogue. Like, it's all build up. It's a bunch of set pieces for something that, like, doesn't build anywhere ever. And the whole time I'm just like, all right, episode 12. Episode 12 is going to be lit. Episode 12 is going to be it. And then episode 12 comes and goes, and it's just like, season 2 will come soon. And I was like, son of a bitch. Like, you really did that.
When we had the conversation about being a Yuri, a
Yuri, a girl love.
A girl love. When we had that conversation, I had in mind, like, a bunch of other things, right? Like, something more familiar.
Like Licorice Recoil.
Yeah,
or...
something more familiar to the works that we've seen for this podcast. But then, it never clicked in my head that the name Gundam was behind it. So then now, we were having a conversation about, you know, homophobic behavior in past works. And not homophobic, but, like, they don't really go for it. Japanese writing in anime, like they're you know.
It's like, even in last episode we were talking about how Fujiwara in Love Is War has almost like an attraction when she hears two guys might be hooking up, but it's subtext. It's never like said out loud.
And in here in the Witch of Mercury, I'm excited to see like the story, because the prologue episode, which was dubbed. And the only dub release in Crunchyroll, because they just started.
Like last week, yeah,
last week, doing the English dub for you know the continuous episodes. And I liked it. The first episode was kind of weird, but once I watched the second episode in Japanese dub, it excited me, because it puts up a story of like this alien girl, in this case, Mercurian.
Yeah, Mercurian basically, like, it's also, like, there's just too much going on. There's, like, a culture war happening between Earthians and Spatians.
And Spatians is just people that colonize space?
Yeah, just not from Earth. Just humans. Like, they're all humans. They're all human beings, but just not from Earth. So, like, you can live on the moon. You can live on Mercury.
Might as well be country lines.
Yeah. And then you have, like, this working class that's, like, striking and like trying to hold demonstrations against the government on Earth, but then we have the Spatians mining everything for resources, and that's why Gundams are banned in the epilogue, because people in an active arms race on Earth is what caused Earth's like atmosphere and like just like crops and everything, and everyone's like way of living just to be destroyed, kind of.
Yes, and then in the epilogue, what did I call it?
Prologue?
Is that same thing?
Same thing,
right? In the prologue, it definitely reminds you of Neon Genesis Evangelion.
You think?
Well, with the whole topic, you're being sarcastic?
No, no. I didn't see it. No, I didn't think about NGE at all.
Okay, it's because we haven't watched Gundam for this podcast.
Nope. This is the only Gundam thing I've ever seen, and I was let down.
I watched a couple of episodes here and there in no particular order, like back when I was, 8, 7.
Maybe younger even,
yeah. And then, so I'm watching, and I don't know how the Gundams work, but here we see a mother who is being tested on a Gundam, but we don't know it's a Gundam. We just know it's a big robot.
Yeah, they call it Mobile Suit.
Mobile Suit Gundam, yeah. So
they just call it Mobile Suit. Yeah. They don't start using the term Gundam until there's like a special class of Mobile Suit that connects your nervous system.
Correct. So then she's having trouble. A mother of Arya?
The main girl?
Not the main girl, because it's two different names. It's the name of the Gundam, actually.
Oh, it's Arya, isn't it?
Arya or something?
Ariel.
Ariel? Okay,
yeah.
Ariel, a little baby who then... So the family, the mom that I'm speaking of in this first episode, who is testing this mobile suit, they cut to a scene where they're in their space apartment with dad, and it's Ariel?
No. The Gundam is Ariel.
No, at the beginning.
Did it change? I didn't even notice.
That's what I'm saying.
I didn't even notice.
Like,
Did it change? So, like, the chick with the red hair, the actual witch from Mercury, her name's Suleta.
Suleta.
Yeah.
And
But
she
you're
calls-
saying in the epilogue in episode 0 it was different?
The daughter, it's Ariel.
Is that right?
Yes, dude. So I'm confused the entire time. Because once Ariel, so what I was saying, they cut to this scene in their space apartment. It's Ariel's birthday, and the dad is gonna have a cake for the kid, but somehow like that space station in particular is being attacked because they're trying to destroy what a Gundam is, and we learned that specific robot, it's a Gundam, and then the mother, to escape the situation, gets her daughter in the mobile suit that we know as Ariel in the coming up episodes.
Was it Ariel though? Because it was different colors from the one in the majority of the series.
Yeah, so they call it I think they call it the same thing, or they name her after her. I don't know, but the girl's name is Ariel.
So the girl in the epilogue, the 4-year-old in episode 0 is not Suleta in the main series.
No.
Okay, I was super confused too because they kept saying that incident where like the military essentially takes over like this Gundam Research Institute was 21 years in the past, but Suleta's like 17.
Correct.
So I was super confused on that part too. So you're saying it was never actually brought up and never actually discussed.
No.
But that like the 4-year-old named Ariel in episode 0.
So let me continue. So
Okay.
they get in this Gundam to escape the situation, the one that the mother was testing and failed, and then now that the little girl is in the mobile suit,
Yeah.
she's able to control it like just by thinking it. You know what I'm saying? And you see this very weird, like 4-year-old, like killing people.
She just murks like 3 people real quick. It's just like,
she's
oopsie, this is so
lights.
fun.
Look at the lights, and then like she kills she is saving them from that situation just by being a kid. But then
Dad blew up.
yeah, the dad blew up, and they did the same thing with like the happy birthday.
That was creepy.
You know what I'm saying? But they did it again with the other dude.
Yeah.
Later on.
Yeah. There before you move on, like there's 2 episodes or 3 episodes technically where the physics made me mad because like I forgot that sometimes I'm a stickler for sci-fi. Like, granted, last crazy sci-fi thing we saw was maybe like SSS's Dynazenon, but Dynazenon, it's like the Matrix. You know what I mean? They're in a computer program.
Yeah.
Maybe like, is it a dream? Is it not a dream? Is it computer program? Is it not the computer program? So like the physics can be fucky.
Like, if you can sell me the bullshit,
Sell me the bullshit, please. But it's little things. So in episode 0, when like the military takes over the Gundam research base, like the researchers are all floating around. It's a light gravity station, whatever. But then out come the military, and they just start blasting with automatic rifles. But it violates Newton's third law of physics because they're not like being pushed backwards because they're in a light gravity setting.
Correct.
So like there's no friction holding them to the ground. There's no gravity holding them down. And then at the very end, they're blasting holes in a space station, and there's not a vacuum of space that's animated. So they're clearly in like inside of a space station with an atmosphere because they're all breathing without helmets. And then a Gundam will just like, bang, 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 blow a big ass hole in the
there's
roof.
no vacuum.
Yeah, there's no vacuum. No one's getting sucked into space. Like even the Cowboy Bebop live action series made sure that people understood, like, no, they're in space. Like, we are going to animate shutters coming down on a space station if there's, like, a hole blasted in the side of the wall. Like, it's these little things that took me out of it.
And you're right. It's so little. I didn't even notice it, but you're right. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But then, so, here comes episode 1, and then we have a different girl named...
But she looks exactly the same, so red hair...
Yes. But the mom also had red hair, but then her mom doesn't have red hair. And then, so I'm confused because now it jumps into the Japanese dub. I only
watch the
dub.
Japanese.
The English dub.
I only watch the Japanese.
Yeah, the English dub, right? I mean, the English sub. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The English sub. So now I'm jumping the English sub, and I'm reading, and for like 8 episodes, I'm like, am I stupid? Like, am I not getting this? And I was just so confused of like, why was this happening?
Yeah.
And I'm like, the little girl and the mom don't even look the same. Because I went back to the first episode to make sure I was not stupid, and watched the prologue, and I'm like, that's not the same people.
But
that's not the same robot.
I thought the mom just dyed her hair, because then the mom from there on out of Suleta has brown hair, but then to hide her identity, she wears like a helmet, and then she tells people that like...
But like her hair is like out of her helmet.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Dude, and then, okay, so now I'm confused like for the entire time. Anyways, back to my point of like this, like they're not going for it for like that lesbian love thing, is that they introduced it very well at the front of the first episode, because they have a duel.
Yep.
Once she gets into high school, because her mom sent her there to be a pilot, be a child soldier.
Yeah. She goes to Gundam Pilot Academy.
We meet the guys. We meet the bullies. We meet the first, in the first episode, she saves Miss Mary. Marine. She meets her by saving her, but she wanted to escape. High school.
Yeah. So she's like floating into the space station high school, whatever the fuck it is.
Because she's in like some arranged marriage. And she wanted to escape to make her own decisions.
So like,
and then they have a duel, which is like every episode, like the second half is like a fight. You know?
Yeah. So the Witch from Mercury, what I mean by it trying to do too much at once, like it wants to do this whole like fascist military thing, overtaking the little Gundam researchers that didn't want to use Gundam technology as weapons. They wanted to use it to make like medical implants and like make synthetic hearts and give people like a synthetic spinal cord if they need it.
Like you don't need a donor for it. You can just make it for you.
Right. But then it wants to be high school just because anime. But then it wants to be about like how capitalism is also kind of fascist, because like if you're in a company that has enough money riding on it, then essentially your children are capital, because if they're the future generation that's going to lead this family of companies, then you have to like sell them into arranged marriages, but you have to have duels to prove who's the better Gundam pilot, because that's going to mean that you're a stronger businessman, which means you can lead the business family better, which means that you deserve the president's daughter's hand in marriage.
And you can lobby whatever you want.
Right. But then it's also about like the racism aspect that I'm saying, like, oh, it doesn't matter where you're from. If you're from space or Earth, we're all people, aren't we?
Yeah.
So then it wants to do that. It wants to be about like about childhood innocence. It wants to be about gaslighting your children in an entirely different way by like, if your child trusts you too much, but they also might be a synthetic being, kind of, is maybe what I'm getting.
Yeah, because that's one of the plots to one of the men in this harem that she has as well. But then, anyways, what I was going with the whole like, we're not gonna. So they have the duel. And
with Guel.
Suleta and Guel, and she wins. She wins, and she's the frenetic. Is that the right word? Frenetic. She's so like jittery. She's so like
frantic.
Sorry, she's so frantic, and she's like, oh my god, I can't believe I won. Blah blah blah. She gets out. She gets immediately suited up in this new garment.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh, that means you're my husband now.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And then they kept pushing this like, oh well, I'm your groom. Oh well, I'm gonna be your bride. Oh well, it's like, no, dude. Like in a gay marriage, it's like if two women are getting married, it's just bride and bride. It's not bride and husband, because there's no role like that. You know what I'm saying? Like if two gay men get married, is not
both grooms.
They're both grooms.
Oh.
So then in that episode, that's the last time they almost touched it, because from that episode to episode probably 10 is just the guys hitting on her.
It's
for
not
every other reason.
It's not. So then, like, they want to do the duel thing, right? They really want to do the duel thing, and like that's the plot up until like episode 8, 9, something like that, and then they start a company, and then it's just about them running a business for 2-3 episodes. But then it's just about like, what if one of the people that's part of the secret dueling club at the academy is also an adopted son of one of the second biggest families in the business organization? But then what if he double crosses the leader of the third biggest family in the business collective, who is Gwell's dad. But it's just...
It's like my floating his dad shit kind of
There's
thing.
just too much happening. Like pick a plot, pick a struggle, and like run with it.
And then the reason it reminded me of NGE is because like she's always talking to Ariel, the Mobile Suit Gundam,
Right.
as a person, and I felt like it just reminded me of Shinji not being aware that was his mom he was writing. You know what I'm saying? So it just feels like...
Wait, you mean the purple Gundam in NGE was his mom?
Yeah,
crazy. Mind blown. Yeah. Mind blown.
And then the girl he fell in love with was a clone of his mom.
With the one he came on in the hospital bed? That was a different one.
Yeah, that was just a coworker.
Okay. So he nutted on the coworker, had a crush on his mom, who was a clone of his mom, so it was okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. But then his alcoholic teacher wanted to hook up with him anyways?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
And then also, like, again, it touches in all these fucking things. And, like, please drop one, because at the fucking second episode, we go into, like, this space Hogwarts thing.
Yeah, I wanted Space Hogwarts. I would have preferred Space Hogwarts than what I got. Like, I was like, okay, cool. I don't know why I didn't guess it was just fucking Space Academy High School. Like, whatever. I felt dumb for not assuming that. I'm like, it's anime. Duh. Okay, awesome. Like, I thought that's what it was just gonna be. And like what you were saying earlier, it's very formulaic. It's like, oh, she learns how to make a friend. Oh, she learns how to ask somebody on a date. Oh, she's coming out of her shell a little more, the little frantic, awkward girl. And then she's a really good Gundam pilot, and then like beats somebody's ass, and now they have to be her friend. And I was like, okay, is that what we're doing for 12 episodes? Whatever.
And then not only that, as far as like not going for it with the Yuri theme of it, which, I mean, this is why we picked it for Feelings February.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like she finds out she's gonna be her wife, Miss Miorin's wife, Miorin's wife, and she's like, oh, what? And the next episode is like, oh, but Miss, I can't be your wife. I've never had a high school life. I want to date more. Blah blah blah. And then she goes on a harem for the next episode.
And then there's even dialogue from Miorin that's like, I don't care if she's having her little side fun as long as she comes back to me or something. I was like, whoa.
And then, don't get me wrong, they touch on a plot line like, okay, it's a girl like getting to know herself. Cool.
Yeah, awesome.
Roll with that.
Awesome.
But they don't roll with it.
Nope, sure don't.
You know?
I still don't know who that bitch is, and I just watched 13 episodes of it.
And then they throw fucking Ecom 101, and I don't know what the fuck's going on.
I hated that. So they're like the mid like season tone change, which doesn't even change the tone like at all, is they go to a dinner meeting where they present their business findings essentially. And we're supposed to think that Mirin's some business genius because she writes on her iPad and then airdrops it on the TV in front of everybody. And she's like, look, if we buy the Gundam arms from this other company, which is illegal, and that's 240 billion yen, and then we dissolve it with this other Mercurian organization, which is 100 million yen, then I need 340 million yen worth of capital.
On a napkin almost.
Yeah, on a napkin almost. I'm like, I'm not signing up for that. What are you talking about?
God.
And then, like, there's the abusive dad thing, but the abusive dad did it because Mirin reminded him of his wife who's dead because he didn't save her from an accident, and which comes up for 10 seconds, the very last episode, and it's just like a throwaway line that I'm supposed to care about.
And nothing happens at the end. It doesn't finish.
All the ending teaches you is that this very, very, very impressionable girl, which might be a synthetic organism, starts being very comfortable murdering people. And that's supposed to be the big, like, stay tuned for season 2 kind of thing.
Yeah. And then the whole I like when the two girls, the relationship here, it's on screen. Like, I like their conversations.
Yeah.
I like what they're talking about. I like how Ms. Marion she's like, she's the tsundere of the relationship. You know, she's like, you gotta do this.
Bitch.
Yeah, exactly. She's an independent bad bitch, and she's like, you gotta do this. Like, why are you so stupid? Oh my god, you're red like the tomatoes my mom left me.
But then she wants to escape to Earth because like she feels like those are her people and she's sympathetic towards them, and she feels like because she's a person of means and she's from like the richest, most influential family in like, I don't know, solar system business affairs, that it's her duty to give back to the poor Earthians, which again never actually developed on. Like she just explicitly says that is her motivation, and then we never actually get that like flushed out ever. She just forgets it. She starts making that business on the napkin because she gets funding from her dad. And then that's just what she does for 3 episodes. And then for 3 episodes, she just kind of pushes away her fiance, wife, groom person.
Because career is important.
Because career is important. And then all of a sudden, like halfway through the very last episode, it's like, oh, that's right. Where's my future wife?
Yeah, and if anything, we're going to talk about feelings February. Like the dates, well, the quote-unquote dates that she has with this like bunch of dudes like from the school. Like the first duel was against Guel,
Guel, Guel.
Guel, and he was like the abusive arranged marriage guy.
And I hate his character design. Like
he's a bully, and then she dates a guy, but like that guy's just so like horny for her skills in the battlefield that at this point you start seeing a pattern of like, okay, yeah, you're gonna date a couple of douchebags and realize you actually love this girl.
Well, the Elan person's kind of interesting, or the original Elan person's interesting because it's also like a slave, maybe something like that, some kind of genetically modified slave that's being forced to like kill himself to pilot a Gundam, because the whole reason the military took over the Gundam lab in episode 0 was because basically Gundam technology is so hard on your nervous system that it kills you.
Oh, like NGE?
Oh. Shut up! I didn't even realize it was about NGE. So it steals that plot line from NGE where, well, it's like Darling in the Franxx too. Like he rides in the Franxx 3 times and he's supposed to die.
Yeah.
So like Elan, or Enhanced Person number 4, has this duel with her, and like he's gonna unlock the Gundam grid or whatever illegally inside of his Gundam thing.
But without her consent, he touched her Gundam first. He
asked for consent. He said, "Can I ride in it?"
Oh yeah, but like with a hidden agenda. I guess with consent, but with a hidden agenda.
Is that still consent?
Yeah, it's a little crazy.
I don't think so. I think your original point was right. Yeah, if you're lying, I don't think you under false pretenses. Yeah. That's not really consent, then, is it? Yeah. Damn, it's a metaphor. The Gundams are metaphors for your libido.
Yeah,
interesting.
For your boner.
For your butthole.
And yeah, so yeah, we have that with Alan, but Alan is like, yeah, I would like to take you out for a date. Blah, 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 blah.
And he's part of the dueling club. There's like a whole committee of people. And that's another thing, though. So everybody in this dueling committee has like really cool character designs. Only like 3 of them are named, and there's like 8 of them. And then there's a few characters that have very interesting and standout character designs, but none of them are ever flushed out.
They look so cool, you even think it's going to go into a Voltron thing.
Yeah. That'd be super interesting, too. Or, like, just the Dynazenon thing, which is the same thing. Like, robots coming together make bigger robot. But, like, it's just... I don't even know what happened to any of these characters by the end.
But back to your point of Sella, is that his name?
Elda?
Elan
Curtis.
Ellen Curtis? Ellen, so he under false pretenses, he wants to inspect... what's her name? The witch from Mercury. Suletta. He wants to. He tricks Suletta into letting him ride her mobile suit, which then he realizes that it's a Gundam. And as a first time watcher, if you're watching this, you're like, oh, there's 2 kinds. Okay, cool.
You know what also kind of sucks is that like when they're suited up inside of the Gundams, sometimes when it's switching between characters, I don't know who's who because they all look the same in the suits.
Oh, yeah.
It's really, really hard to figure out which character I'm looking at.
They just give a little bit of hair.
It's just the green visor, it's Khan, you know what I mean? Like from like Marvel.
Yeah.
So it's just like the green light in their face. Okay, which person am I looking at? Kang. Khan. I'm
like,
thinking of
Genghis
I'm thinking of Khan from Star Trek.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like Kang.
Yeah.
It's so hard to differentiate them. It's so awkward. It's just, what were you gonna say?
And I was just gonna go back to like the whole feelings for about this, the whole relationship about this, the whole like growing as a person emotionally and sexually.
I wanted to watch two women fall in love.
Yeah, and I didn't get any of that because now
Nope.
we have. And don't get me wrong, like it's a good premise if you were to get stuck with it.
It's a bad premise because all it really means is that this super simple girl Suletta thinks that because somebody was promised to her, like her actions almost don't even matter. Like she can whole ass flatten somebody with a Gundam right in front of her fiance, and then reach out to her with a bloody hand and be like, "Take my hand, we're getting out of here."
Yeah,
it's just there's such a lack of character development that it's very off-putting, which like feels like it was intentional, but that doesn't make it interesting.
because for 10 episodes we have frantic Silhouetta, and then we have like super stern like Miriam being like, "Hey, you need to be better at being social. Hey, you need to be better at being social. Oh, I'm being antisocial.
Hey, stop annoying
hey,
me.
blah, blah, blah. Hey, do this." And then it only shows it as a character from Silhouetta growing like that, like maybe twice. I think it was during like the economic class or the like the timeshare presentation.
Yeah.
That she's like, "Oh, she told me to stand up straight and stop being frantic, and I need to talk, like I need to say it with my chest." And like you see that, but you only see it once or twice.
Yeah.
And to like the last episode, man,
I wanted them to fall in love better. They fall in love so ugly.
They fall in love so ugly because Silhouetta is on the phone with her cunning mother. She's like, "Hey, Mom, I'm sorry. You were right. I don't belong here. I don't have friends." "Oh, is that right, baby? Oh, you don't have friends? Oh, you're such a loser." It's like, "Yeah, Mom, you were right. Can you come pick me up?" And then Miss Marion was on the other side of the sliding door. She was like, "Hey, what the fuck are you saying?" He's like, "I hear you." He's like, "Talk to me." He's like, "Don't run away from me." He's like, I had to. The only part that makes sense for feelings for Mary is that her emotions connect to the first episode when she's like, "You're trying to run away from me. When I first started trying to run away from here, you don't get it. Because of you, I don't have to run away anymore. And you're trying to do the same thing."
Yeah.
And that was cool for like a second.
Yeah. I like the intro song. I don't think I skipped it at all.
I didn't skip it at all. It was a nice intro.
Yeah, Yoasobi's cool. So like over here on the far side, Aldo has the vinyl pressing for season 1 of Beastars, and I thought that the intro songs were on it, the ones to Beastars, and I was excited because this would be the third time we've seen a Yoasobi intro sequence, and like this is one of the like biggest upcoming acts coming out of Japan right now, and I was slightly disappointed to see that their songs are not actually on the vinyl printing.
I think they're singles.
Damn.
Some as singles.
Damn.
That set has like the entirety of all the music inside of Beastars.
Between Nerds, yeah, original vinyl pressing of Between Nerds.
But yeah, it doesn't have the intros because I think they saw them as singles.
Damn.
Yeah.
Just trying to get my money.
Yeah.
Stop doing this to me. I think even Black Cat and Spider-Man have a better romance, to be honest.
Hey, that's toxic.
At least they're into each other. At least they're toxic, but at least they're into each other.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced that Miorin or Suletta are ever like really into each other. Not really. I mean, it's more a sense of obligation.
I mean, Silhouetta wasn't at the beginning. She's like, "I don't even know if I like you. Like, I need to go date guys." And then I need a trip to Europe, and then we can talk.
Oh, hey yo!
But yeah, she went around Europe,
and she didn't like what she found.
She didn't like what she found. She thought the Eiffel Tower was cool.
Yeah, it's.
Get it?
That's bad. Hold on. So I was cheating a little bit, and I was asking ChatGPT what it thought about The Witch from Mercury because I didn't want to just shit on it nonstop. I really didn't. And like ChatGPT is so positive. It's so positive. So there's it split it up into segments, and I'm like, okay. Section 1, introduction to the series. All right, whatever. We basically did that. Segment 2 is where I thought it got interesting. Themes and character analysis. Okay. Most of it's bullshit. It's high-powered. It's a struggle for power. It's personal agency. It's the consequences of war. But here's where I think it became kind of apt. Eris is a symbol of the consequences of war and the cost of power, whilst the protagonist, Shiro, represents the importance of personal agency and the power of determination. Who is Shiro?
I don't know.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is.
I also don't know who Eris is. So I guess it's an AI, right? It might not know the character names. It's taking any Gundam names. So what's it saying? It's saying that essentially Suletta is a symbol of the consequences of war and the cost for power, because if she has a synthetic life and the original Ariel's consciousness is inside of the Gundam, which is why Suletta doesn't get the neurological sickness when she plugs into the Gundam.
Yeah.
Because of the same person,
It's the same
kind
person,
of.
yeah.
It's the same person. Then I guess it's saying that Mirioine is like the
Product.
Yeah, is the product of the cost for power because she's the one being sold to different families
For power?
for power.
Yeah.
And so the interplay between these characters and their conflicting ideologies provides a rich tapestry for exploring these themes. Way too positive. Chat GPT gives too much agency to the witch from Mercury.
I think it's a good point, but that's not even what the anime is about.
That's not what
because
it's
it
about.
tries to do so many things. Don't get me wrong. If they would have stuck to one theme of all of them that they throw out, it could have probably been good.
Yeah.
Any theme.
Yeah.
It could have left. It could have left the Yuri love behind and gone straight political and military and shit.
Yeah.
And that would have been crazy. It could have gone with the Yuri love. It could have gone with like the high school thing. It would have gone with like the fights. But no, it doesn't stay with any of it.
Yeah. See, I would have been perfectly down with a light Yuri. It's Gundam high school.
Sprinkle with Gundam.
Yeah.
Gundam.
I would have been fine with that. It's essentially a slice of life, but then you're gifted. It's like fan service at the end because you get to see a Gundam fight.
Correct.
Awesome. Cool. Thought that's what it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
I had no reason for it to even go beyond that, which sounds bad. Like I probably would have been like it's above average if it had stayed with the original premise.
Mm-hmm.
But then it tries doing too much with too little, and there had to have been a rewrite somewhere because the way it kind of ends on a half cliffhanger, the way like the characters talk like it's suspenseful. I never felt that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's a me problem or what.
No. I get you. As far as the Witch of Mercury, Gundam, the Witch of Mercury, for episode 129 of Between Nerds, I don't have anything else to say about this.
God, say something funny.
I wish I
need a
could
clip. Say something funny.
I wish I could say something funny, but
Here at Between Nerds Podcast, we're actively disappointed that there wasn't enough girl butt touching.
yes.
Girl on girl butt touching. It's what we needed, and we didn't get it.
Nerd down?
Nerd down.
Nerd down.
NerdDown.
Welcome back to the Nerd Down, where the nerds get down, nerds. That was episode 129 of Between Nerds.
Yep.
Second week of Feelings February.
Yep. And we've already hit a snoozer. Sad day. Sad day for Feelings February 2023.
You know what? Although that was like a 30-minute conversation, we ripped it. A good one, though.
Yeah, hell yeah. Rip those girls. I mean...
But Between Nerds here. Please follow us on YouTube. Subscribe to YouTube. Please comment, like us. We've gotten some comments. We are swimming comments actually.
Yep.
And,
Washing comments.
Yes, please follow us on all social media at Between Nerds. You know, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok.
All Between Nerds, or email us betweennerdspodcast@gmail.com. Mm-hmm. Something we do kind of need to go over is that we're recording on February 3rd, right? So last Tuesday was the last day that people entered into our August giveaway.
August.
January giveaway.
Okay.
January giveaway. So then that means that we are about to announce the winner of our January giveaway. So I put a bunch of names in this auto number generator over here, And it's looking like it's going to be Mr. Raz. The comment on our episode of, it looks like the Reality is Overrated one, Ghost in the Shell 2, the one that suggested The Witch from Mercury or War in the Pocket.
Cool, Mr. Raz on YouTube.
Yep.
We will be contacting you by YouTube.
Yeah. And then you got to email us at betweenernerdspodcast@gmail.com because, just send us your shipping information. That's all we really need, to be honest.
Yeah. And if you reply, you'll be the first recipient of this non-hashtag given, when we used to use the hashtags for winners.
Yep.
We are excited about that. But yeah, please email us.
Yep. So I'll be replying to your comment, and then you'll know. And what else? Other housekeeping notes. If you guys want to be entered into the February giveaway, like Aldo was saying, comment on anything. If you leave a 5-star written review on Apple Podcasts or a positive review on Spotify or Deezer or Pandora, we don't get notified when we get reviewed on those platforms. So if you do leave a positive review, take a little screenshot or whatever, and then email us at betweennerdspodcast@gmail.com, letting us know that 5-star written review is you.
I don't think that's that much if you want a giveaway.
If you want it.
Yeah.
If you're just giving us reviews for the goodness of your
Thank
heart,
you.
that's tight too.
Yeah,
I'm with it. Whatever.
We're never going to see it, but thank you.
Yep.
We've gotten a lot of downloads, audio downloads. Thank you for everybody. One of our episodes started on Chartable last week.
In Thailand.
Yeah, in Thailand. So
Yeah,
thank you,
they
Thailand.
like Bochi the Rock in Thailand.
Yeah, I like Thai food, bro.
I do love Thai food.
I like Thai food.
Hey, my dad's half Filipino. I'm Thai adjacent sometimes.
Yeah, Thai adjacent. Also Mexican adjacent.
Yeah, Mexican adjacent all the time. My mother's maiden name is Chavez.
Oh, I was talking about the Spanish invasion in Philippines.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah,
okay.
that too. What else? I guess we can go over these new comments we have before we get into like a real big discussion real quick. On TikTok, Mr. Black Mamba said, I'm tight as fuck. Commenting on our short about me being perfect that was posted on February 3rd.
Who would know there's a lot of perfect people in this world?
Yeah. I thought I was all alone.
Hey.
We can all be perfect together.
Sometimes you're the only perfect person in my world.
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah.
Feelings February, guys.
You know
This
what I'm
is
saying?
it. Tune into Between Nerds podcast.
No, but thank you for commenting because this is what the NerdDown's about. It's about you guys telling us how shitty we review your anime recommendations.
So listen, Mr. Shadow Black on YouTube. I don't know why you had to be so mean to us.
Yeah.
At Shadow Black 1441 with your big lofty 7.67K subscribers and all your lives of shiny hunting on Pokemon Violet. Like, I'm jealous. I'm jealous. I'm salty. Like, I'm fuming at the rim with all your Batman cosplay. Don't get me wrong. But
You ain't gotta say it like
you
that,
didn't have
bro.
to say it like this, bro. Okay, so listen. He comments on a Hitori Bochi clip, the one talking about how you lost all the video. And it says, "Hey, dude, just throwing this out there. You're wasting so much space with how you're editing these. Get a better aspect ratio by zooming in when editing on who is speaking and cut shots to follow the convo. The layout y'all have right now ain't it."
And hey, dude, that is a solid point.
You could have been softer with it, though.
That is a solid point, but then we go to your page, and again, we're not hating. You're on live, bro. You're on live. You ain't got no clips. I'm sorry, but thank you for telling us. I know you're telling us from what you like to see on clips like TikTok and shorts. Thank you for letting us know. But yeah, that was a little rough, man. We are gonna try some new cuts today after this episode it's done. We are recording 4K. We are a little closer to you guys. You guys don't have to adjust your iPhone sets.
We got a clacker.
We got a clapper.
Clacker.
Clacker?
Clacker.
Yeah, we got a clacker. For audio.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's nice. The production.
We got some new cables for these mics. We're trying. Honestly, and like I've always been proud of us that like every episode I feel like we try to do a little better. And if this is how good it is after 129 episodes, we're sorry. We are trying so hard.
And if you need to be as harsh as Mr. Shadow Black on the comments, go ahead and be as harsh, bro. Like, we have a lot of comments. Our mental state is already shitty, so nothing's gonna phase us. You know, we've been told to. Well, Drew's being told to kill himself.
Oh,
you know.
Why are the comments so mean to us?
But yeah, thank you guys. I'm also here if you guys want to comment on me killing myself.
Whenever they comment about you, they're just calling you a victim. Yeah. They're just like, oh, Drew's so mean, spoiling all of One Piece for Aldo, yada, yada, yada.
I feel
if anybody knew this man in real life, you'd never think he was a victim. I don't know why our YouTube comment section is so convinced that Aldo's a victim.
I also don't know why we are matching searches with Ben Shapiro.
I think it's my fault. We talked about it last week. It's because I put cancel, like canceling, in a title. And since then, we get recommended in Ben Shapiro videos, in who's that bald guy that got arrested in Romania?
I can't remember.
Andrew Tate. We get recommended in Andrew Tate searches.
And just because of saying this, it's going to probably show up again.
It was a joke. I hate cancel. Well, I don't know what side of cancel culture I'm supposed to be on. YouTube. I don't want to be on the same side of YouTube as Ben Shapiro and Andrew Tate. Whatever I did, I apologize.
I definitely have mentioned this to you before, but there's one of those clips from Trevor Noah on the Daily Show. Once he's talking to the audience, he's talking about his dad being German, I believe.
Oh yeah,
and he tried to learn German to connect a little bit to his dad. So he visited German.
Well, he grew up in apartheid South Africa too, yeah.
Correct. But then he goes to visit Germany, and he's trying to speak German, and a friend of his is like, "Hey, don't do that." And then he's like, "Oh shit, why did I say it wrong? Is it what am I doing?" It's like, "No, but when you talk, you kind of sound like Hitler when you talk." So it's like, are we talking like they're talking, but not like the same context? Do we have the same tones?
Like YouTube is just YouTube is just picking up on the language, but not the context it's being spoken in.
Correct. So I think it's like that. Yeah, I definitely don't want to sound like Hitler, or I think Hitler is a no word.
Don't tell the algorithm that you said that.
I'll bleep it.
You'll bleep it. You'll bleep, like evil guy mustache. You know who we're talking about.
Yeah.
That's it. We're just awash in comments, but like these are the select few that we'll talk about today.
Correct. Also, we want to talk about The Last of Us.
The Last of Us. Before we get to that, I do want to tell everybody that next week we might or might not have a guest. As of right now, we assume that a good friend of the pod, Rachel Eves, will be joining us to talk about the Violet Evergarden movie.
You guys seen her before. You guys met her before.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep. Well, she hasn't been on in like maybe a full year since like the Fruits Basket episodes, Feelings February last year.
We were recording in the dark.
Yeah, we were recording
different format too.
These lights weren't here, none of that.
The table was like across the room like this.
I didn't know what I was doing. I still don't know what I'm doing. Apparently. And the week after that, for the last week of Feelings February, we will be watching season 1 of the Quintessential Quintuplets.
I'm excited.
I'm excited to watch something new that like people have been talking about since like 2019 that I haven't gotten around to watching.
Okay.
And then the week after that will be the first week of March Madness, where we just do a sports theme month, and we're going to be watching the first 26 episodes of Captain Tsubasa.
Yeah. So
we talk about The Last of Us now. You want to talk about The Last of Us? Or we can talk about the last. What'd you think? So the most recent episode that came out was episode 3.
I thought it was amazing.
Amazing. Best piece of television. Like, best singular episode I've seen in I don't even know how long. Like, I like that singular episode more than any singular episode of, like, House of the Dragon, or what else did I watch last year? Andor.
Anything else?
Or, yeah. I don't know. It was just, it's the best, like, when you think about, like, a video game adaptation, and how, like, in video games especially, like, the plotline isn't front and center. Like, there's a lot of things happening in the background that, like, are moving the plot forward so that you can play the character in setting, right? Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of things that, like, you just don't know about, really. Mm-hmm. That's just kind of, like, set pieces in the background. And, like, this guy and his husband having, like, an entire like 20, 30-year life together in the middle of a zombie apocalypse was like the saddest thing I've seen in I don't know how long.
Because that could have been the witch from Mercury.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that could have been the witch from Mercury. Absolutely.
Yeah, but it didn't. Yeah, and it's so touching, dude. It's so crazy. And all these fucking angry people on the internet talking about, like, oh, I thought I was watching a zombie apocalypse thing. It's like, bro.
Nick Offerman, like, acted his ass off. Dude. He acted his ass off. Like, he's probably going to get nominated for an Emmy, right?
Yeah,
there's no way he doesn't get nominated for an Emmy after that performance.
And honestly, Nick Offerman, I really like him more in shows. Mm-hmm. His stand-up comedy, his shows are cool, but I just don't like the whole singing and dancing that he does on his shows. Mm-hmm. You know, but like he's really good, man. He's really good.
It's because he's basically playing Ron Swanson. Like, he's playing, like, a blue-collared, like, anti-government. Like, if Ron Swanson was in a zombie apocalypse, like, Ron Swanson doesn't trust the government. He has an underground bunker. He has a doomsday plan. So, like, doomsday happens because it's Z-Day, essentially.
And what we assume is, like, a secretly gay life that he, like, lived before actually meeting his, soulmate.
Yeah, man, and it's a sweet story because I'm glad you used that phrasing. It is about like soulmates. It's about like the universe putting two people together. It's the middle of a zombie apocalypse. Nick Offerman's character hadn't seen anybody in 3 years maybe, and this guy just wanders into his life and is just there for the rest of his life, and they just like live happily ever after together. They euthanize each other. They're so happy being alive together that they grow old together, and once it's time for one of them to die, it's like, dude, we're euthanizing both of us.
Yeah, I don't know what you were thinking, dude.
You think I'm just gonna euthanize you and keep going on? You've lost it.
When I came in, bro, I was watching it with Vianney, and like we're both like teary-eyed once a conversation.
Oh, dude, I wanted to sob.
Once a conversation starts with, I believe it's Frank and who? And
I don't even know. Was
Frank the lover, or was that Nick Offerman's? No, Frank is Nick Offerman. Okay. I can't remember what the name of the...
Mike or Matt or something?
Something like that. Once he's suffering from maybe muscle dystrophy or something like that.
Or cancer. Yeah, cancer. Some kind of neurological thing. You're probably right. Yeah, yeah.
And once a conversation starts with like, hey, man, like, I need you to help me out, like, to kill myself. And like, once that conversation starts, it's like, look, listen, dude. It's like... He's like, I can't do it. It's like, listen, we're going to have a good day. I'm going to paint some. We're going to go for a walk. We're going to come back. You're going to cook an amazing dinner for us. And at the end, you're going to put a bunch of perks in my wine. And I'm going to knock out. And you're going to put me to bed. And that's going to be it. Mm-hmm. And then just having those conversations with Vianney's like, I wouldn't be able to do it, babe. Like, I'm sorry, but I wouldn't be able to do it.
You don't think so? Nick Offerman's character is Bill.
Vianney told me that. Like, she told me that. She's like, I wouldn't be able to kill you.
Right.
And I'm like, I get it. I wouldn't be able to kill you either. I would kill myself with you. And as the first-time watcher of this episode, once they're having dinner and the last glass of wine, he's the lover, what was his name?
I only found Nick Offerman. Who's Bill?
Yeah. Frank. Then it's Frank.
Oh, so then it's Frank. Okay.
Yeah. So then Frank is like, oh, you put more drugs in your wine glass, right?
Honestly,
absolutely.
It broke my heart too, because like you see how the funniest like exchange happens like right before Nick Offerman's character Bill is like forced to open up by like his partner essentially, right? Mm-hmm. And they're in the middle of this empty town surrounded by barbed wire, having a conversation about how the government's all Nazis. And Frank's like, "You thought everybody was all Nazis? The government is all Nazis." Yeah, now. Because we're in a fucking zombie apocalypse. Now they're all fascists. But they weren't before when you were just being a hard ass about it. And that's what ties it to the main story. And that's how Bill and Frank knew Pedro Pascal's character because over the radios or whatever, Frank was communicating with Joelle's what was
Lisa?
the girl's Lisa, yeah, whatever her name was, and they had like dinner dates and stuff, like little double dates, like in this big empty town, and like they'd share goods together. Joelle helped him rebarb the fences because. And then he helped him like get ready for raiders essentially. And then the very next scene, like there's raiders coming down, and then Frank waking up and just in a panic. It's raining. The traps are going off. There's gas fires that are lighting raiders on fire. Like it's super cool. Like what would happen if Ron Swanson was really just bunkering down and people tried overtaking like his shelter? Like bombs going off, ditches, people like falling inside of like spiked pits, breaking their legs, chemical fires everywhere, and he's just in the middle of the street with the sniper, boom, 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 and like what gets him hurt is trying to protect Frank. Like
the distraction from Frank.
Yeah. So now he's no longer covering fire. So then he's like, Frank, what are you doing? Oh, gets shot in the gut. So then you think he's about to die on top of their dinner table. He's telling Frank everything. He's just like, listen, extra keys are in the closet.
I wrote you a letter.
Wrote you a letter. Call Joel. Joel will help you. He'll help you get to safety. There's enough food for a month. There's enough water for 3 weeks. Like telling him everything. And you think that's it. That's how the episode's going to end. Really, like Bill's just going to die, right? No. The very next scene is the scene that broke my heart because it's Frank in a wheelchair. Like they lived past that. He's painting, but he's shaking and like he's helpless. He's bedridden at this point. So like Bill's essentially like his hospice care from that point out. And that was what made Frank be like, you're going to euthanize me. You're going to take all of my pills, crush them all up, put them in my glass of wine. And he plans this whole day. He's going to like, you're going to make me my favorite breakfast. We're going to go walk around the garden. And then you're going to take me to the boutique. And you're going to wear the suit I want you to wear. And they get married, bro. So you're telling me they've been together that whole time. They finally get married on the day that they're having like their suicide pact. And... oh God, it's like the duality of filmmaking too. Like you want film to feel kind of cyclical because like in the beginning, Bill had made Frank a meal of like it was fancy. It was like some kind of poached chicken or something with like
beef shank or something.
Yeah. And then he's like presenting the wine bottle like he's at a fancy Italian restaurant and pours it from the bottom like you're supposed to. Like and. That scene plays over again when they're old and it's their very last day and like Frank still hasn't gotten that Bill is kind of gonna kill himself too, so he's serving wine that already has all these drugs pressed into it. And then what Frank wanted to see was Frank taking that extra bag of pills and crushing it up and putting it into the one glass of wine.
A crazy amount of pills. Crazy amount
of like even Frank's like, will this be enough? He's like, you've basically had enough to kill a horse at this point.
Yeah, but like it's a bag like this full of perks.
Oh yeah.
And like he crushes it and it's a mound.
And that doesn't include what he had put in the first bottle.
And like that would have made the wine a little slushy.
It would have tasted like it would have been super bitter.
Yeah.
It would have been super, super bitter, like Absolutely. Chewing on a Tylenol or something.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, take me to bed, and they just die together. They just die in each other's arms, and it's like the sweetest thing I'd ever heard in my life. So like where the story's taking place with Joelle and Ellie, like they walk in and they're already dead. It's already been like a few weeks probably.
Yeah.
So they walk in, see the sad little note, and Bill was just a nice guy. Like he was a crotchety old man, didn't even want to make friends with Joel, and was pointing at a gun at him the whole time they first met. But after a while, he's just like, he's my best friend outside of like his partner essentially. So he wrote a letter. He's like, look, you can make a battery in the garage. Go grab some clothes. There's food in the bunker. Take what you need.
This is the codes for this. This is where the keys for that is there. Blah blah blah. And it's just awesome because
I don't see how anybody could hate this episode. To be honest, I really like.
I'm sorry. Even just from the first 2 episodes, like it's not even put into context into this episode.
Yeah.
To as far as how much Joel has lost. Mm-hmm. It's been 20 years of like excruciating pain for Joel, and in a simple letter, Bill or Frank is able to put it into words of like, listen, it's like we have to protect people.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. And it just hits even harder for Joel too, because then you have flashbacks on screen of like the loss of his daughter, the loss of Lisa, and the potential loss of his life or Ellie's life.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so crazy.
Super
So
insane.
crazy.
Super
I
crazy.
can't. Oh God, the internet is so rotten with.
And there's some people trying to be like, I'm not hating on the man love thing, but this isn't how it happened in the video game. Bro, in the video game, they're just running away from zombies while like escaping Bill's traps. Like that's all that happens in the game. There's no plot to like that
television.
scene.
There's no television.
What are you talking about, nerd? What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Just go watch like somebody's live stream if that's what you wanted.
It's wild, dude. It's wild, but it's a good theme for Feelings February. It's a great episode for Feelings February. I'm glad we talked about it because it was a beautiful episode.
You watched Infinity Pool?
I did watch Infinity Pool.
I don't even know what the plot is. Can you explain it to me real quick?
God damn, dude.
Who's the studio? Is it A24?
No, it's not. I thought it was. But it isn't. I don't know exactly where they are, but like they're like, oh yeah, they're super strict. We have to get out of here. It's like I Know What You Did Last Summer kind of thing.
Okay, I hate that movie. I absolutely hate that movie.
So it's like we gotta get out of here. You don't know. It's like once the cops get here, they're gonna rape me and her, and they're gonna murder us, and then you guys are gonna go to jail.
Have you watched that movie recently?
No.
That movie's ass,
dude. Yeah,
me and Karen tried watching it like last month.
Really? I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah. It's super corny and bad.
Yeah. With the hook guy.
Karen was like begging to watch it. And then we turned it on. I'm just like, this is like the corniest thing I've seen in forever.
Yeah.
And like, no wonder Scary Movie was making fun of it.
This is also filmed by Brandon Gutenberg.
Who's that?
He is the son of David Gutenberg, who directed The Fly.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
okay. And a lot of other works. But anyways, so he runs over this guy. They get back to the resort. We think like trouble it's escaped, but then the cops go to James Foster's room. Is like, hey, you did this. We're gonna kill you. In the prison, he makes a contract to be cloned and be executed by the police state, but he watches his own execution.
Isn't that the plot to that one magician one?
Kinda. So anyway,
what movie is that?
The Illusionist.
Illusionist.
Not The Illusionist. Prestige.
The Prestige. Yeah, that's a good movie.
Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
So then,
did he really set off a nuke?
No, I don't know. I don't
Christopher
think so.
Nolan?
I don't think so.
Isn't that what the new one's about?
Yeah, Oppenheimer?
They're saying he literally like lit a nuke, didn't he?
He wanted to make a realistic mushroom cloud, and with the help of angles and cinematography, they wanted to make it look scaly. You know, to scale to a real mushroom cloud, but I'm pretty sure it's just a bunch of napalm.
Oh, okay.
Or not napalm, because that's incendiary. It's like, I don't know, something. Anyways, so yeah, it's just them, like, committing crimes and playing with...
I love crime.
And then just being cloned and watching your own death again and again for, like, a couple of times.
Bro, crime's my favorite.
I don't know. It's just crazy, dude. It's wild.
True crime with Drew Phillip.
Infinity Pool, I wouldn't recommend you watch it at the movie theater. You can watch it once it releases. I wouldn't pay money. If I had the chance again...
You wouldn't?
I wouldn't pay money to watch it in the movie
Shit's
theater.
expensive. It's like $30 before food, bro.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't pay $30 again?
I wouldn't.
No. Okay. But like for a first time, maybe. But you're saying... No. It's not even worth the initial investment?
Let me just tell you that I knew the end was coming and I was waiting for it.
Okay. I get what you mean. It reminds me... I think it's funny that you were comparing that to like A24 style directing and casting, but it's not A24 because last week I was talking about Oshi no Ko, the volume of the manga that I had up here. And Oshi no Ko reminds me of what would happen if like A24 was making like an anime almost about like J-pop idols or about like obsessive. It's like Perfect Blue kind of.
But we like this theme.
It's like Perfect Blue, but without like in the middle part of Perfect Blue, you're not sure what's real and what's fake, right? It's without that
because of the theme of Perfect Blue is also like psychosis.
Right. Right. So that's not a theme in Oshi no Ko, but Oshi no Ko has this theme of like murder mystery.
Right.
Because it starts off with a murder.
Like Autotaxi almost.
Yeah, like Odd Taxi almost. And like the beginning to every chapter is super fucking scary because they're doing like documentary style interviews, but they're talking about things in the past tense. So it'll be like chapter 2 of the manga, and it's like, oh, I remember when I met her. Man, it's a shame what happened to her. Are her kids still alive? And that, so like volume 1's only 10 chapters, but every chapter starts with that, and you're just like,
she's still alive.
What's about to happen? She's right here with her 2 toddlers. What's happening? And it hits you like a ton of brick when it happens, and and again, like, so it's 107 chapters currently out, something like that, and the anime adaptation starts in like April, I think. So it's probably gonna be going for like the spring anime season. I found the studio to Oshinoko. It's called Doga Kobo, which we've actually discussed before because it's the same studio that produced Plastic Memories.
We loved it.
We didn't really love it. We thought the ages of the characters were kind of ambiguous and a little off-putting for us. But they also produce Shikamori's Not Just a Cutie, which we've seen like a handful of episodes of, and we've talked about it before. It's animated well, I guess. But again, the like a lot of their works are like slice of life kind of stuff. So I don't know if I trust them to do the murder mystery idol anime.
Who knows, man? Who knows?
But what's going to be really exciting is the first episode is going to be like 45 minutes long.
Okay.
So it's like a double episode special, which will be really neat. Yeah.
That has to count for something, right?
We'll see it. We'll see. I'll be right there. I'll buy a bunch of merch if it hits. If not, I'm gonna be the first person on the internet just hating on it.
And as far as that, I'm excited because from what you've told me about it, like the whole pop idol murder mystery, like it's we touched on Agretsuko as well. They touched on pop idol. Stalker stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Last season of Agretsuko comes out this year.
Yeah.
Last season. Forever.
That's going to be fun. Anyways, we can also talk about the Discovery or not the Discovery, but like...
The Discovery Channel? What are we talking about?
No. Star Wars Visions.
Oh, no! So Disney released their lineup of studios for season 2 of Star Wars Visions. And like we have a whole episode on season 1 of Star Wars Visions. It's super, super cool because you can imagine that meeting at Disney. It's like, yeah, what if we just take Star Wars and we do it with Japanese style animation and actually bring in Japanese anime studios to do individual episodes. So you have actual like hitters. You have A1 Pictures, you have Studio Trigger, you have like all those. And it's like they saw that success. They saw all the hype around it, and they were like, what does this need more of? Wallace and Gromit.
less Japanese culture.
Yeah, we need ugly American claymation people.
And to your point, like, the first season of Star Wars Visions was promised to the audience that it was going to be, anime studios. And it feels like they just graced the top of like anime studios that they could have worked with, and I bet there was an executive meeting of like somebody being like, "Oh, we don't need to do that.
Yeah, we can't get American studios to do that. What the fuck?
Yeah, and let's go ahead and do this. Let's watch all these other studios of like mediocre like cartoons.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they're not.
Like cartoons.
I haven't seen.
You've never seen Wallace and Gromit?
No, I've seen Wallace and Gromit.
Oh,
okay.
Hey,
Chicken Run is one of the favorite movies as a kid.
But like, do I want that for Star Wars? I very much don't.
Dude, and in the, who knows? Maybe, and these are gonna be.
I hope I'm being facetious.
And I'm telling you, maybe they're gonna come with
the heat.
Like, the heat in some of these episodes because. Hey, like, claymation is not easy.
Because why was, like, Avatar The Last Airbender so hot? Why is the original Teen Titans for Cartoon Network so hot? Because those are American studios that realized what Japanese action animation did well, mimicked it, gave it its own American flair, and that's why we loved it, right? Like, high production Americanism, Japanese eccentricism in action. Awesome. Cool. So to your point, I hope it's not just all these American studios doing their own like thing, and they actually go back and maybe like watch the work that was done in season 1, because like every episode's a hitter.
Yeah, I don't want to see Johnny Bravo Star Wars.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely the fuck not.
Correct. Yeah.
Hanna-Barbera like level animation. I can't do it.
Yeah, and the fact that it's Star Wars, like, don't get me wrong, everybody, like, the whole Star Wars community is gonna be on it.
Yeah.
But because of the studios, who knows? If it bombs, I wouldn't be surprised that Vision Season 3 is going to be anime again. Or, like, Japanese influenced.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Speaking of Star Wars, I did finish Jedi Fallen Order last week. I finished Jedi Fallen Order. It scared the shit out of me when Darth Vader popped up on screen.
Oh,
I had no idea. I literally had no idea. So I beat the final boss. I'm like, yeah, I did it. Game done. Over. Like, I'm about to stand up. And then all of a sudden, Darth Vader just pops through the ceiling and, like, force chokes me. I'm like, do I have to fight him now? Like, I'm have no health left, no stim packs left. I can't do this game. You didn't give me another checkpoint. This is me.
Your lightsaber's limp.
Yeah, my lightsaber's limp right now. What is going on, guys? Help me. Help me. And I think Jedi Fallen Order, it was a cool game. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not a big fan of, like, the Tomb Raider series, of Uncharted, like, 3D action platformers.
I feel like Tomb Raider is, like, the grand puppy of all this, like...
they're making a new one?
Yeah.
They're making a Tomb Raider, like, interconnected MCU and video game universe. But, like... I've never liked those games. The only 3D platformers I like are, like, Mario, and that's because it's a fucking Mario game. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you can't go wrong with it unless you cast Chris Pratt.
Right, exactly. So you get the redheaded kid from Shameless, and you're like, okay, go be a Jedi, whatever. But I think the actual fighting's neat because it reminded me a bunch of Elden Ring, like just dodge. There's the opening hit. Dodge again. Like, it's exactly like you're playing Elden Ring, but with a lightsaber. Okay, cool. Love that gameplay. Awesome. Hope we get a real expansion this year, not just like a Battle Arena expansion. But, like, so I was super excited for the sequel to Fallen Order, which was supposed to come out, like, in 2 weeks, but EA pushed it to April.
Do you think because of E3?
No, they're saying that it was actually to polish the game.
Okay, good. E3 has been not known to do that.
Well, they've totally dismantled most of E3. Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo are flat out pulling their products from from E3 showcases. So it's just going to be the third-party developers showcasing at E3 this year, which is embarrassing because Microsoft sits on the board for E3.
Yeah. I saw a interview with Denzel Washington talking about like how The Rock is viewed now. And the interviewer, honestly, I can't name drop who the interviewer was. I can't name the channel that this was put on or anything, but he asked a very good question. He's like, "You are a good actor that knows how to make your audience wait for you. Like, you make your audience miss you." And like the topic of The Rock comes out, it's like, I'm not hating on the work that you're putting, but you don't want your performance on the screen not to be missed. Right. Like, if you put yourself in all these projects, and yeah, they might be good for you and you have a good contract and everything, but you have to wait. You have to wait out your audience. You know. And what was my point? What were we talking about right before this? The
Jedi Fallen Order?
No.
E3.
So I think, honestly, this is probably like long shot in it. This is probably a long shot, but I'm pretty sure it's like we don't want a lot of trailers. We don't want people to know what we're doing, and maybe just put it out. Maybe, who knows?
Staying on the topic of video games, I messed up really bad because I've been talking nonstop about Harry Potter, the Harry Potter game that's coming out next week, and like I didn't pre-order the deluxe copy in time, and now it's sold out everywhere. And I only like buying physical copies because they maintain same level of equity, and like I might end up having to buy the digital copy on my PlayStation, which I don't want to do. But J.K. Rowling was trending again because the Harry Potter game's coming out and so many people are talking about it, but also J.K. Rowling is vehemently transphobic to the point that, like, she gets actively trolled and has memes about her, and she plays the victim about it. And there's a lot of people making really valid arguments that are saying, like, look, she's not directly associated with this Harry Potter game, but she's going to make tens of millions of dollars just because she owns that IP off of like this game being sold out and everybody playing the shit out of it, which like bums me the fuck out because like I'm very much an ally, but I want to play the fucking game. I like Harry Potter. I don't know, man.
Well, do you believe on separating like the name to like something else?
I was listening to Kanye West like yesterday, and like, do I agree with anything he said in the past like 5 years? Absolutely the fuck not.
And again, I think it has to do with all these people having inner axis. You know what I'm saying? Like, if Zelda had inner axis, she would be part of ISIS.
My dog absolutely would be out there in the Humvees.
Mm-hmm. You know, but I don't know, man. I never really listened to R. Kelly, but like if I don't have an auxiliary cord and
I sing the beginning to Bump and Grind when it comes on.
And Bump and Grind comes on, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not saying Bump and Grind.
Yeah.
You know, but like it's this whole thing. We support the trans community. We support LGBT.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
you know what
absolutely.
I'm saying? It's not. You can find evil things in everything.
Yeah. It just bummed me out. It bummed me out that so many people were like rightly defending. I'm not saying that they're being like dramatic. I'm not saying that they're like being unjustly like aggravated towards like people that would consider themselves allies, because like I'm never gonna know what it's like to be like in that kind of situation, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I don't want to directly support J.K. Rowling, but I want to play this stupid fucking game.
Yeah.
If it were up to me, I wish she wasn't making any money off of this. I really, really wish that. I very much do. But I don't know. It's neither here nor there, I guess.
It's not. You guys buy the games that you guys want to play and use your own criteria to if it's a good game or not. If it happens to be a shitty game, then it's a shitty game.
Yeah.
If it's not, then recommend it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Shit. James Bond. I played the James Bond 64, and James Bond is not exactly the coolest person. You know what I'm saying? He's a misogynistic womanizer who drinks alcohol and kills people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It makes cool movies.
Daniel Craig. Honestly, Daniel Craig was the only James Bond I really grew up with.
Really? I watched all of them.
I did too. I watched them when they were coming out. But all the James Bonds? Like,
all of them.
Dog, I have not seen all of them. I don't think I've ever seen a non-Daniel Craig James Bond movie.
For my double E associates, I made for my speech class. For a persuasive speech class, I made a project on James Bond.
That's nerdy as shit.
Yeah.
That is the nerdiest fucking thing I think I've heard all day.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's hilarious.
Yeah, but I've seen them all, and I saw them because like my grandpa used to watch them, and I saw them in Spanish in a black and white TV, and I saw them with him, and then I just kept watching them because it was just some cool dude just drinking beers and banging chicks and killing dudes.
You know what's super scary for me? Like in Casino Royale, where like where they brutalate his testicles, and like there's like this real discussion about like, dude, like, did they really like is he him anymore? Like when you get brutalized.
That was the first movie.
Yeah, and that was the first movie like that. And it's just like
he was shooting blanks all 4 next movies. No,
wouldn't they rupture?
No, I absolutely believe it. I absolutely believe it, dude. And that scene, honestly, I don't remember the scene until it's talked about because my brain blocks it off. But
oh yeah,
you're right. He's naked on a bottomless chair, and he's having the end of a thick rope with a knot in it swing at his nuts.
Yeah.
For information.
Yeah.
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 Dude, you can threaten me with pulling my nail, and I would drop a dime on you so quickly.
You do already have 2 kids. I'd rather it be you than me. No offense.
But anyways, does that conclude the Nerd Down?
I hope y'all enjoyed this Nerd Down discussion more than the Witch from Mercury discussion. We tried our best, guys. We really did.
Short episode. Hopefully you guys like it. Hopefully you guys can stay on it.
Yep.
Like, keep watching it.
Yep.
Like us on YouTube. Subscribe, like, comment.
Turn on the notifications.
Yes. Also, email us. If you want to stay anonymous, email us to our email at betweennerdspodcast@gmail.com, and we will answer back.
Watch the playlist on YouTube. You can watch like hundreds of hours worth of videos on YouTube if you just press play all on the playlist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go to sleep to it.
Go to sleep to it. Yeah, Between Nerds ASMR right here. Hey guys, just reminding you that you're very special nerds and your mother's lied to you and you're not actually that special.
But you are special to us.
Yes, you're special to us.
This has been Between
Nerds. Thanks for watching Between Nerds Podcast. Somewhere on the screen is a link to our most recent episode. Somewhere else on the screen is a link to a body of clips that you all should watch. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks.